I live? I'm live. Great. Thank goodness. All right. That was weird. Let me delete that. Delete. So I thought I'd come here, see if anybody pokes their head in, and then we'll just kind of chat for a little while. You know how it is, you know? It's nice to chat. Let's see. I think I'm going to give it about, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It should probably go longer though, because typically people will come in and things like that. So I think what I'm going to do to make this kind of interesting would be, I can go ahead and start doing some review, and as people come on in, looks like we have somebody. Hey, how are you? I will just encourage you all to comment, and we can have a chat, see what's on your mind. I can tell you what's on my mind and take it from there. How I can make this more available. See, maybe I can make a post about it. Make this available. No glycoside, gentamicin. Can I do one? Oh yeah. Wonder. Let's see if maybe I can make it so that like you're like studying with me, maybe like that. Is that light too much? I guess we'll see. The aminoglycosides are antibiotics used primarily against aerobic gram-negative bacteria. They disrupt protein synthesis, resulting in rapid bacterial death. Cause serious injury to the inner ears and kidneys. They are ototoxic and toxic. With a lot of charges here. We've got one person in here. Hey, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me. Also, let me know if the video is choppy, if you don't mind. Gentamicin. I think what I'm gonna do is I'll go till 15 minutes. Yeah, because I just posted that. Hey there, welcome. How's it going? I'm just doing some reading, getting ready for bed. Yeah, if you can hear me, let me know. And hopefully the video isn't too bad. I have had an issue with the drivers on my computer, so I can't plug in multiple sources now. So I have to like do a trade-off with the webcam. But I hope you're doing well today, whoever you are. I encourage you to say hi. But back to your saddle. I think I'm probably going to stick around for about like 7 minutes and see if anybody else comes in. And of course, if you want to comment, you can. And then probably get going, honestly. Thought it'd be interesting to see if anyone noticed my status and came on in. Hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just kind of like reviewing some stuff for school. I thought I'd make a kind of like an open format here where we could just kind of hang out, talk, whatever. We have a new week ahead of us, and I thought, why not, have a nice little space here at night. So here I am, wishing you well. What is on your mind? I had a great weekend. I hope you did. What causes bacterial? Cecil. Hello, Cecil. How are you? I don't really do live streams typically, so I thought it'd be interesting to go live and see who shows up while I just kind of look at my textbook here. How are you? Or what is on your mind? Are you an idealist? Are you an INFP? Are you an Enneagram? Something of which? I'm doing the aminoglycosides pharmacology stuff for nurse practitioner. Just kind of sciencey stuff. Turns out aminoglycosides are toxic at times to the kidney and to the inner ear, so keep that in mind if you're ever wondering about those things. I'm glad that you're doing well. I hope you have a good week. Oh, cool. Very nice. Yeah, I'm very much interested in Jungian approaches. I'm a nurse, but I'm training to be a nurse practitioner. So if you're familiar, I don't know if you're from the United States, but it's it's like a provider role. Wouldn't say it's too complicated. It's just drugs. Drugs have a lot of interactions, though. Obviously, you gotta be careful when you start taking lots of drugs. Medicine has its role, but what's interesting me so much is learning about the side effects. I think that's been the big sort of eye opener for me, studying medicine. It's just very interesting. I'm interested in psychiatry, so things get more complicated when we're talking about the brain, but it's fun. It's interesting. Yeah, it's crazy how normal stuff like Moltrin has a big effect. How much has the MBTI topic helped you? I'm not sure. Are you referring to a drug? Oh, um, typology is pretty heavy. I think that Carl Jung's work has been really useful for me, but I've really started to become more interested in the Freudian approach, but I find myself always returning to more of a Jungian way. It's sort of my natural state to look at, preferences, thinking preferences, feeling preferences. I like to talk about things in terms of, the measures of personality, but I find that typology is the most flexible way of understanding personality. I just love it. So yeah, it's been very helpful. I wouldn't say personality typology itself has helped me, but it's given me a deeper appreciation, I would say, for people. So, I mean, it'd be nice if people knew truly how knowledge of personality could be useful. I think a lot of times people take personality tests, but they don't really understand fully personality, right? So for me, the interaction between the personality trait and the situation is what interests me so much. Cecil, I I am pursuing nursing, advanced practice nursing in psychiatry pretty much as a means to doing more psychological like work. Um, so the license is so broad, I can basically do everything a psychologist would do outside of testing, and everything a physician would do outside of being a medical director in certain states. But the scope of practice is very broad. Um, so yeah, but I will say that I'm interested in holistic understandings, and I think Carl Jung was the most successful in truly looking at things holistically, and he had a deep understanding and intuition of the way the conscious factors, uh, the cognitive preferences, the cognitive functions, the way that those informed the neurotic patterns. And it's important to know that Carl Jung was very much a student of Freud, and that he split from Freud, but that the very central presuppositions of analytical approaches are more or less the same, I would say. Cecil, sure. Yeah. So the primary cognitive function is a feeling function. A feeling function, and it's important to understand feeling as a judging preference. A lot of times we say, oh, I feel a certain way. I feel a certain way. But for an INFP, it's not about how I feel. It's how I think about how I feel, which has a lot to do with what we think of as values, right? Because I have to make judgments about who I am based off of how I feel. So it's really about identity, I would say. The INFP typologically is testing. It's testing what it means to even believe in anything all the time. It's very good for, I would argue, counseling, other people, because it's very, the introverted feeling preference has such a deep respect for the subjective feelings and identity. Yeah, that's right. Introverted feeling, primary. Intuition, extroverted, secondary. Sensation, introverted, tertiary. And of course, thinking, extroverted, inferior, which is always a lot of fun. Am I right? Sometimes we gotta have some boundaries with our day, don't we? But sometimes we don't. Sometimes we like to improv a little bit. It's hard to explore, and be very productive creatively with strong thinking. Interestingly, God made us that way. He said, look, if you're going to deal with exploration, you're going to have to blur those boundaries a little bit, But the exciting part is seeing the interconnectedness. I think that's the gift. We don't get caught up in the details in many ways. Obviously, if we're neurotic, we can, but typically not. How can INFPs gain mental energy? It's such an interesting question. As if we don't already have mental energy. How do we gain it? I think, I see. In my group of friends, I noticed I'm quite aware of how everyone is feeling and how to keep a positive spirit in the group. Is that linked to INFP qualities? Probably. Typically, INFPs are conflict avoidant because they value harmony, right? There can be some conflicts arising from that too, but typically I would say that if you are wanting to stay positive, that's typically a strategy of dealing with conflict. You want to be hopeful, optimistic, things like that. And that just depends on the INFP typically, I would argue. Some INFPs can be downright negative and introverted in that way. But there's a spectrum. It's not so clear. That's why typology is so interesting, because it's a spectrum. Kind of gives all the room for all these different interpretations. Mm-hmm. How are you in regards to that? So if you want to know more about me as an idealist, I am definitely an optimistic style. I'm very agreeable, extremely agreeable. It's unbelievable how easy it is for me to take pleasure in other people's happiness. It's just my natural thing. So for me, it's important that other people feel good. It is important, especially the people I'm attached to, right? Which can make things complicated, obviously, in certain circumstances. But as a rule, I see myself, right, as having value insofar as other people are okay, but more specifically, how I can help them feel better, which makes sense. If you're agreeable, it's kind of what you do. So Cecil, me too. I have to learn to be less agreeable. Right, precisely. This is the thinking function. Now you'll see that your relationship to that way of being has a lot to do with your psychological safety and security. And you'd have to, do some psychodynamic work to fully understand your primary way of dealing with thinking. But it's very true. For those of us who are most agreeable, there's a certain kind of growth that comes from just simply practicing boundaries, saying no, focusing a little bit more on your own needs, things like that. But remember, the key is not to focus so much on the self. It's working the way it's supposed to. It's this beautiful dance where we can be with ourselves and yet be a part of other people, even in the face of conflicts. It's a very, very important thing. It's that beautiful dance. Felilia. What a name. How interesting. Hello. I was wondering if there are some bad qualities of INFP that you notice in yourself. That you might be. Hold on. Yeah, hold on 1 second. I won't forget. So I'm taking care of my geriatric Springer Spaniel right now, so I can't forget to take her out, because things get complicated if you have cognitive impairment and you got to poo and pee. Good advice for everybody. You learn that the hard way taking care of old people. Make sure they poop and pee and stay hydrated. It's very important. Avoid a UTI specifically. Okay, hi. I was wondering if there are some bad qualities of INFP that you notice in yourself, if you were comfortable? Bad qualities. When I talk about bad qualities, I'm thinking of weaknesses or vices, I think, right? Bad. All right, let's get into the negatives. This will be fun. What are the bad qualities of being an idealist? There's a spectrum here. There's different kinds of INFPs, but I would say that for your stereotypical INFP, they focus a lot on themselves. They can be almost so self-focused that they lose touch with obviously reality itself, right? Because reality is a certain way. So I would say the weakness fundamentally is that the self becomes the primary thing, and then the growth isn't moving beyond that. Typically weaker conscientiousness, which has a lot to do with that too. Feeling like you're somehow special or separate from the general population. There can be a certain narcissism associated with that. Typically, the INFP narcissists are implicit narcissists. They're not grandiose narcissists. So they have sort of an idealization of themselves. It's very hidden from the world. Let's see. How come they are creative? That's a complicated question. I mean, why is the earth round? I mean, God, nature. INFPs are creative because they were made that way. There is a part of the brain that mediates dopamine-like exploratory behavior, and it's more active in INFPs. Why is it more active? Because they're compelled to explore worlds, subjective worlds. INFPs are prone to the introverted feeling SI rut. Okay. When INFPs resorts to their first and third function, cause them to be stagnant. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I would say that could be associated with a defense, for sure. Kind of like an avoidance, right? I think for me, that would be associated more with avoidance, the sensation. Because the intuition is very much an exciting thing. It's an affectively loaded thing. Cecil, yeah, I should. There's a lot of things I should be doing more often, I think. But yeah, it's fun. I think I'm going to go ahead and set a limit here. I'm going to let everybody know I'm going to go in about 10 minutes. Yeah, let's do 10 minutes. Yeah, let's do that. And yeah, I think I should do this, but I should schedule it, right? I think scheduling this would lead to more people. And obviously we can all kind of explore things together in a more of a community way. How can INFPs get better at communicating? Take great care, Cecil. Fun talking to you too. Stefan Pemberton. Stephen? What's up? How do you improve your communication skills? Ooh, specifically for somebody who's an INFP, I'm just going to go ahead and give like some really basic advice for anybody. But INFPs are going to have a lot of empathy, right? So to improve communication is like learning to use that more strategically, right? People like people who like them. Empathy is an opportunity to appreciate people. So I would say go out into the world, ask people about who they are, listen, use your empathy, and then tell them what you like about them. That, my friend, will get you very far in life. If you take the time to listen, I would say INFPs have this gift. Remember to use that gift wisely. Very few people can listen like that and truly enter into another person's experience of life effectively. It's a great gift. It's a burden, though, in some ways. Just got to be aware of that versus. Oh, I would also say become more responsive. I made a video on this recently. Typically, INFPs are quite good at, seeing other people's perspectives, but we can be a bit flaky and inconsistent. Train yourself to be responsive. Somebody sends you a message, send it back promptly. Notice somebody has a birthday, call them. Be proactive, not reactive. Be active, not passive. Yeah, don't be flaky. People don't trust you if you're flaky. Make sense? Yeah, I think it's an honest conversation that INFPs need to have as they grow older, right? Um, why am I so self-consumed? Have I learned to step outside of myself in a consistent and reliable way? Uh, it's just so important. It also makes you so much happier. I mean, it's relationships are built on that. Hi, dude. What's up, dog? I think adds more bias. Classified personalities, ADDs. Since I think ads, I'm not sure what personality thing you're talking about here. There's no personality thing to measure with, I guess. Yeah, I would say the best personality truly is not looking at just the personality. It's looking at and not just the traits. I mean, it's looking at that spectrum and the psychodynamics as well as the social dynamics. It's like this really complex thing, right? That's where personality gets fun. I always tell people to say, just watch yourself. What do you like around, this person versus this person, this situation versus this situation? So like I said, I'm going to let you guys go in about 6 minutes. Any other questions, random things you'd like to ask me before I disappear into real life? The real world. Oh, someone's joining us. Hey, whoever you are, welcome. I'm leaving in 5 minutes to go to bed and to take out my dog. My day's been really, really fun. I actually went onto the campus of Emory University this weekend and studied, and it was just so beautiful. I enjoyed it. It's very, very rewarding. A lot of beauty, a lot of contemplation. I had a great dinner this weekend, a lot of aesthetic pleasure, and a lot of just open awareness, all the things that drive me. I'm feeling quite confident. Be aware of all angles that have made up a person. Psychological, social upbringing, all of it. Absolutely, yes. A truly holistic perspective. I like the way you think. As people come on in, usually people end up showing up when I'm in for like 30 to 40 minutes typically. And then usually I say I'm leaving in 5 minutes, but I leave in 15. It's the classic pattern of me not planning a live stream. It's as if I've done this before. Yes, everyone read what Liv Rose wrote. That's very important. We make the mistake when we forget about the nature interacting with the environment. So much of what makes human beings so special is we are social and cultural in ways that no one else is. And that leads to some seriously interesting social dynamics. I love to make it early too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, no, people live all over the world who watch me, so I'm not really sure what the best time would be. Maybe I should do some research on that, but I think it would be fun to have conversations with people. Obviously, I make videos. I reflect on life. I have ideas. I explore ideas. I'm doing psychoanalytic studies right now at Emory, and there's so much I'm thinking about in terms of therapy and things. But it's, for me, it's all about you. It's about, the patient I'm with in that moment. It's about the role I can play, that personal relationship that can offer me this wonderful, joyful engagement. It sounds selfish, but I know that people appreciate being appreciated in ways that we tend to not value a lot, especially in the Western world. So, random thoughts there. So for those of you who are here, welcome. Any thoughts, any feelings, please put them in the live chat, and I will gladly notice them. Should probably put this in here. I think I should probably extend my time now that I have 8 people here. 8 human beings. Living, breathing human beings with souls and consciences and stories of life. Maybe I should, yeah, let's do this. I don't want to say we're going to do group therapy here, but let's do a game real quick. For those of you who are actually listening, I am going to ask you to write something in the chat box, okay? So we're going to do a little game here. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to type your MBTI. If you're not sure what it is, just say, I'm not sure, but I think. The first thing I want you to do is type your MBTI and click enter. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, makes sense. All my videos say INFP on, so of course that's typically those who click. Okay, bunch of idealists. Oh my gosh, there's so much dreaming going on. We're out of control. Gosh, we're getting out of hand tonight with our dreams, aren't we? And our sentimentality. And of course, cats. Everyone has that stereotype. Okay, cool. So thank you very much, by the way, all of you. Matthew, thank you. Falilia T59870. Stephen Glad? What an interesting name. Liv Rose and Riley. Thank you very much for your engagement. So the next thing I want you to do is to comment your Enneagram, if you're familiar with that. If you don't know, just say, I don't know. Go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Okay, looks like no one really knows. Okay, interesting. Wonder if anybody does. Okay, don't be sorry. Just let me know you don't know. I hear a 2 with a wing. Okay. So it looks like most people don't know. One says they're a 2. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you commenting. Okay, so it's been very important to me as a future psychotherapist and psychiatric provider that I look at the psychodynamics, right? And as all of you probably know, when we talk about being an INFP, we're referring to Carl Jung, his work on typology, right? And that means something to us subjectively. And there's certain themes, right, that we probably all share in our lives, which is actually very exciting and interesting if you think about it, isn't it? We don't know each other personally, really. And yet, if we told our story, we might see key themes emerging. I have found that by combining Carl Jung's typology with what's called Hornevian psychodynamics or psychoanalytic theory, I get a very strong picture, right, of the way that the individual copes with life and the way that they make meaning, right, where they find meaning at least. So this is very much my interest. That's why I asked you all to. I'm going to ask you again. Okay, so here we go. Question number 3, I guess. When you are feeling stressed, okay, you're feeling challenged in life, right? There is a strategy that you use. I want to know, just say yes or no, I agree or not. When you're feeling stressed, do you withdraw from others? Yes or no? Do you withdraw from others? Are you pulling back? Are you creating a space? Okay. Are you withdrawing, pulling back? Okay. Very nice. Now, this is not the case for all INFPs, but as a rule, we can assume that for most individuals who score INFP, that they have a way to their lives that is a primary defense. And that defense is one of, I need to move away from other people. All right. The first thing I want to say about this is that it's actually very normal and healthy. Okay. To move away from others. And I would encourage anyone to comment here. I'm curious to know what you think. Has this moving away from other people ever felt like it was something that was out of your control? That perhaps it was getting the best of you? That maybe you were almost compulsively moving away? It wasn't a secure experience for you to move away. Maybe you tried to move away and you couldn't quite do it the way you wanted to. You couldn't quite achieve whatever you felt like you were trying to achieve in withdrawing from others. Very nice, Ralph. Agreeing. Okay. Okay. I just want to calm down myself. Okay. All right. Interesting. Interesting. So this is getting me thinking. You all are wonderful, by the way, but I think it'd be so great to develop a group therapy and organize the group therapy around these strategies. Now, isn't that an idea? As we all see the best in each other and the worst in each other in the group, right? Yeah, I feel like it's unhealthy for me. Okay. I feel like withdrawing would help me assess and get back together. But I don't know if it really does. Okay, you're not sure. That's very important, by the way. You know, you don't feel, that feeling is really important, right? Because I have found that the only way for any strategy to work is to have success in the strategy, right? You have to have experiences of successful withdrawal. That's the key. That's the key thing. Starts to actually create a more flexible personality, a more dynamic personality, a less compulsive personality. Memories, Dreams, and Reflections. Stephen, I would recommend that one. It's like a biography of his early life. He's an interesting guy, that's for sure. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for your engagement. Thank you for commenting. You idealists, don't be afraid of people. I hope that you can connect with people and share your creative impulses in ways that are healing for you. That's a big deal. Yup. That is a huge deal, by the way, what you're saying. think that could be a very good video discussing alexithymia, which is basically just this inability to use language, right? This almost like blindness to our inner emotions, not being able to label it with language and things like that. Which energy within withdraw. The more compulsive the defense of withdrawal, the more the avoidance of the direct experience of the affective states, right? So if it's compulsive, I don't really know how I feel. I don't really know who I am. I'm disconnected. See that? Compulsive withdrawal and then disconnection. We don't want to become so compulsive. That's something we need to work on if we're doing that. You'll save the live so I can rewatch it. I wouldn't worry about it. I think I'm actually probably just going to go ahead and just turn it off. What I'll say is that if you're interested, you can reach out to me. Okay. For those of you who've been here, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and get some sleep, and we're going to have a productive week. We're going to make those dreams into a reality with our inferior thinking and our intuition. It's going to be fun. Okay. Good night, everybody. Take it easy. See you soon.